Hello and welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth. I'm going to comment upon the FBI releasing their investigation into the death of Mr. Todashev, I believe his name was, in Florida, who was being questioned by the FBI in connection with the Tsarnaev brothers and the Boston Marathon bombing. Now, if you remember this story, this person was being interrogated or, having questions asked of him by the FBI in Florida, and he was unarmed, but supposedly lunged from halfway across the room with a knife that he somehow got from somewhere, and lunged at the FBI agent, and he was shot to death. Now, the FBI have released their report in which they indicate that the FBI has done a perfectly fine job in the case of killing that guy down in Florida. Now, this is just a further, as if we needed more, a further example of the total travesty that is the criminal justice system within this country. Now, you'll remember that, I can't remember the guy's name right now, but Christopher Dorner, that's who it was, Christopher Dorner. You remember him? Who was afforded no trial, who was afforded no Fourth Amendment, who was afforded no fucking constitutional protection at all. Burnt to death in a fucking cabin by the police. Okay? Do you remember back in 2013, do you remember an incident where a young man was arrested, put into the back of a police car with his hands handcuffed behind his fucking back, and somehow managed to, despite apparently being patted down, get a gun out and shoot himself in his own fucking head, according to the police, who say he committed suicide while handcuffed with his hands behind his back in a police car, arrested. Somehow got a gun, somehow was able to shoot himself in his own fucking head. Okay? Every day, it seems, you hear of stories where police have raided places or have come close to people with dogs and murdered their dogs, raid people's houses, sometimes not even the correct house, bashing in people's fucking doors and shooting and killing people all over the place, all over this fucking country, okay? And I used to be in the position to say that not all police are bad. And I still believe that. Not all police are bad. There are a lot of very dedicated people within the police force. But I'm going to say this from now on. From now on. You understand? I'm not going to give you the benefit of the doubt anymore. Because if you are a good police officer, if you are someone who is dedicated to actually doing your job, and to being responsible, and to following the rule of fucking law, and following the fucking Constitution, and everything else that goes along with it, all of the standards and practices and everything that you should be abiding by and fucking following in everything you fucking do, you have no fucking excuse anymore. All of the good police officers out there, all of you, if you sit by from this day forward and you do nothing, furthermore, anytime I bring up a story that involves police abuse, everybody in that fucking department is guilty. Because if there is one motherfucker there who is not pointing out or trying to stop the killing of someone in custody or under the most egregious fucking circumstances, just like this poor individual with the FBI. Well, thankfully, we know because the FBI investigated the FBI and determined that the fucking FBI did nothing wrong. And this is exactly the same kind of fucking shit that you get from police departments and other law enforcement entities anytime there is any kind of problem. They investigate themselves and find out, surprise, surprise, they didn't do anything wrong. the end of the day, someone's dead. Someone's dog's dead. Someone's house is bashed in. Someone's property is fucking confiscated or destroyed. People are shot, wounded, tased repeatedly, pepper sprayed mercilessly, kept in isolation, not booked properly, suffering from any number of fucking egregious examples of injustice in this fucked up corporate nation that we have right now. You could guarantee that if the FBI or the police were going after some fucking millionaire or billionaire or a goddamn CEO of a fucking company or a bank executive, God forbid, there would not be one fucking slight little jot or tittle out of the fucking norm in everything that they did. And they probably wouldn't even fucking handcuff the guy, no matter what the fuck he did. But if it's the vast masses of people out here, your life is in your hands. Because apparently the good policemen do not want to and will not, apparently, do anything to weed out the motherfucking killers that are among them. And from this day forward, you all get painted with a red fucking brush of killer whenever one of your fellows kills someone in custody or under very questionable circumstances unjustly. So I'm going to say this to you again, policemen, all of you law enforcement people in this fucking country, okay? We're all slaves to corporations and banks and finance capital in this country, and I'm going to tell you something right now. You all are sitting in a position where you are the buffer between the elites who run everything into the motherfucking ground and steal every fucking penny off of everybody in this godforsaken fucking country. But there's going to come a day when you are not needed. And do you know who you're going to be then? You're going to be us. You're not going to be up in the ivory fucking tower with the corporate bigwigs and the fucking Goldman Sachs motherfucking cocksuckers. No. You're going to be amongst us. Out of a job with no fucking benefits from a federal government that has been completely denuded of anything for the people. Because every bit of money and anything that they can do is shoveled to the fucking rich and the fucking corporations. Your days are numbered, law enforcement officers. So if you want to start making an impact, you better make sure you know who your neighbors are after your time comes. Because it's not going to be very pretty if you are a ball-busting, shoot your suspects, beat the fucking shit out of pregnant women cop. Then I imagine there are going to be people around you who maybe don't like the fact that you're living in their neighborhood out of a job with no pension. Because that's what's coming for you. You got to join the fight. And that means right now, in the position you're in right now, you have to start calling out these killers, these rage-filled maniacs, these people that are beating up and just absolutely clubbing people and tasering them. You hear these stories constantly over and over and over again. I never hear any time of any police officers coming forward. I never see in a video a fellow officer stepping in and saying, wait a minute, this has got to stop. And that's what you have to do now. You have to start doing it now, because that's the only way you're going to preserve your integrity into the future. As far as I'm concerned, you're all well over the brink as far as a lot of people in this country are concerned already. And if we don't have independent, totally independent investigations into questionable activities on the part of law enforcement agencies, whether they be city, municipal, state police, or the federal government agencies, you're never going to have a resolution to any of these problems, because all they're going to do is push this shit under the rug, along with the dead bodies of the dogs, the husbands, the wives, the mothers, the kids, etc. So I'm sick of the injustice system, And I'm sick of the good cops doing nothing. And remember this, your jobs will be gone at some point in the future, and you'll be replaced with rent-a-cop types and mercenaries in private security companies that get paid a hell of a lot less and get no fucking pension, or a shitty 401k at best. All of you are in danger of losing your jobs, of losing your standing in the community that you are in. You better start representing the people that you come from and that you're going to be going back to, and start joining the fight against the corporate hegemony, and quit following the rules that are set down for you, which say there are two sets of rules, one for the motherfucking elite and one for the rest of us. And the rules for the rest of us apparently mean there are no fucking rules. If I feel like fucking shooting you, I'm fucking shooting you. And then we'll make up some story to cover it up later. Honest to God, there are good people out there, but if you continue to remain silent and do nothing about the travesties of injustice that go on in this country, within your eyesight, within your hearing, if you continue to do nothing, you're just as guilty as everybody else, as far as I'm concerned. So you better get with the program, you better wake up, and you better realize what's coming for you down the road. Thank you. Good night.